Good morning, children. So, I am starting the next topic of the uniform circular motion chapter, that is motion in a vertical circle. You know that you have studied that what about the motion on a horizontal circle, okay? That is, and I also discussed in the first lecture that uniform circular motion, non-uniform circular motion. That time we have considered that circular motion is on a horizontal circle. Now you see the motion is on a vertical circle. Just to follow this one, the motion is like this. So you see at every point gravity is also acting. When the motion is on the horizontal circle, that every point the gravitational force acting is same. Okay, so we did not consider that. But in this case what is happening, that motion is in a vertical circle means at different point the force of gravity is different. So that's why, just to identify that the circle is a vertical circle, I have not drawn in the form of a circle, rather I have drawn it in the form of an ellipse. But remember, it indicates that the motion of the circle, motion of the body is on the vertical circle. I hope you are following my finger. The circle is like this. Okay. Now, at any point P, if you consider what are the forces acting on the body when the body is moving over this vertical circle, you see actually there are two forces. Now what are the two forces? You have tied the body to a string, so a tension T is acting along the string, this is the string, and the weight of the body, that is mg, this is acting in this direction. So you see tension T in the string acting along this direction, and the weight mg, it is acting along this direction. Alright, and let us consider at any instant of time the string with which the body is tied, which is moving over the vertical circle, making an angle theta with the vertical line. Okay, it is making an angle theta with the vertical line. So you see from the geometry of the diagram, if this angle is theta, this is also theta. So the weight, you can break it into two components, mg cos theta along this line and mg sin theta along this line. Alright, so you see what is happening. T and mg cos theta, they are acting along the radius. T is acting towards the center and mg cos theta radially outward. Alright, so you see if you consider T minus mg cos theta, then it acts towards the center of the circle, and you know when a body moves over a circle, it may be a horizontal circle, it may be a vertical circle, the body needs centripetal force. Alright, so in this case T minus mg cos theta providing the necessary centripetal force. This is the first concept related with the motion on vertical circle. Okay, T at any point tension minus mg cos theta provides the necessary centripetal force. Now you know what is the expression for centripetal force? mv square by r, where r is the radius of the circle. Now here you see when you are tying the body with the string of length L, then you see radius of the circle should be equal to length of the string to which the body is tied. So in place of r you can write mv square by L. Okay, so this is the general relation that T minus mg cos theta should be equal to mv square by L. Alright, and here what is the purpose of mg sin theta? You see when the body is moving up, it is going against gravity. So what it is doing? It is decreasing the velocity. Alright, so you see when the particle will reach to the topmost point of the circle, A is the topmost point of the circle. Then at the point A, you see here, if you take mg cos theta to this side, then T becomes mg cos theta plus mv square by L. Okay. So when you are considering the point A, then tension at the point A will be m into Va square by L. Va is what? Velocity at the point A. Plus mg. Now look at this theta. when the point P will come to A, then what will happen? Theta will be this angle. What is this angle? 180 degree. So you can write theta is 180 degree. And you know cos 180 degree is -1. So one can write TA means tension at the highest point of the vertical circle is given by mv square by L minus mg. Alright. Now remember, if the velocity of the particle at the point A is such that tension at the point A is 0, that in the string there is no tension, then what will happen? The velocity at the point A will become minimum. So this is the condition you have to remember, that when at the point A tension becomes 0, then velocity at the point A becomes minimum. So you see, if TA is 0, what you can write? mva square by L equal to m into g. Now VA, I have written VC here. C means what? C means the critical velocity, means the minimum velocity is also known as critical velocity. That's why instead of VA, I have written VC here. So you see TA 0 means mva square by L equal to mg. So mva square by L equal to mg. Then mm cancel. So VC square is GL. So VC is under root GL. I have jumped 2 steps here. I hope you have understood. Very easy steps. So this is the point you have to remember, that what is the minimum velocity the body should have at the topmost point. Minimum velocity should be under root GL. Is that clear? And the minimum velocity at the topmost point is also known as critical velocity. I repeat, this is the point you are supposed to remember because you have to apply it to solve the numericals also. So, when a body is undergoing circular motion in a vertical circle, then the minimum velocity of the body at the topmost point should be under root GL. If the velocity is less than this value, then what will happen? You know, the string will sag and the body, instead of completing the circle, just it will come down like this. Okay, so this is a very, very important concept, and you know that every year we Digwadi people, this year we did not have that. In Ganesh Mela, you know, there will be a Maut ka Kuwa, that is death well, and you have seen that the few persons with motorcycle, they just perform the vertical loop, almost vertical loop, isn't it? And sometimes accident takes place. Why accident takes place? This is the reason. If the scooterist or motorcyclist cannot maintain this minimum value at the topmost point, then what will happen? Instead of going through the entire circle, this motorcyclist or scooterist, whoever is there, they will just fall down linearly. Okay, an accident may take place. So this is the most crucial thing, that whenever a body is performing, a body is moving over a vertical circle, at the topmost point, the body has to maintain this velocity so that it can continue its motion over the circle. Otherwise, what will happen? After going to the topmost point, it will be unable to move along the circle, rather it will fall down like this. Okay, so you must learn and remember VC, critical velocity, is given by under root GL. Now if you apply, you know that when a body is undergoing the motion, then it should obey the law of conservation of energy. So you see, when the body is moving from P to A, you see, as it is moving against gravity, what will happen to its kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will decrease, but when it is moving from P to A, you see, it is being lifted, isn't it, from the ground. So what will happen to potential energy? Potential energy will increase. But according to conservation of energy, you cannot create the create potential energy, you cannot destroy kinetic energy. So what is the comment we can make? That in this case, the kinetic energy is converted into potential energy. So we can say that according to conservation of energy, decrease in kinetic energy should be equal to increase in potential energy. Why? Because the kinetic energy is converted into potential energy. So you see, if you consider the kinetic energy at this point, half mv square, what is the kinetic energy at this point? Half mva square. So what is the decrease in kinetic energy? Half mv square minus half mva square. Alright. Now, what is the increase in potential energy? Here I have written the answer only. Here I have shown how you are getting. This part, if you want, you may just skip it. So you see, if you consider from the point P, if you drop a perpendicular on the vertical line, let it be pH. Then you see, what will be the change in potential energy or increase in potential energy? mg into the height to which it is lifted. So you see, it was initially at the point H, then it has lifted to the point A. Okay, so what is the height to which it is lifted? A into H. AH. So you see, what is the increase in potential energy? mg into the height through which it is lifted. So what is the height through which it is lifted? AH. Now one can write AH as AO plus OH. Alright. AO is how much? L. Now what is OH? Look at the geometry of this diagram. This angle is theta, OP is L. So OH by OP is cos theta. So what is OH? OP cos theta. OP is how much? L. So what you are getting? OH is equal to L cos theta. So what is the increase in potential energy? mg into L plus L cos theta. So one can write, you see you can cancel and these two you can take common and to take it to this side. So it will become 2gl, then open the bracket, it will become 2gl cos theta, and here it will be v square minus va square. So whatever relation I am writing within this rectangle, you are supposed to learn that and remember it, practice it. Then next one will be, what will be v square? Then v square, you know va, what is the minimum value? Under root gl. So va square will be gl. Now if you take va square to this side, then you see 2gl plus gl, it will become 3gl. So one can write v square is equal to 3gl plus 2gl cos theta. So you see, what is the velocity at any point? You can take, it will be under root. Now you can take gl common. If you take gl common, then it will become 3 plus 2 cos theta. So this is the relation for velocity at any point. Okay, v is given by under root gl into 3 plus 2 cos theta. This relation you can utilize to solve the velocity, to get the value of the velocity at any point of the motion on a vertical circle. Now let us come to the point tension at any point. You know tension is given by mv square by L plus mg cos theta. Okay. So you substitute v. V is how much? Under root gl 3 plus 2 cos theta. So it will be square. Now you see, when you will square it, then under root will move up, means under root will go. Then gl by L. So L will get cancelled. So how much you are getting? You see 3mg, and then here you are getting 2g cos theta into m. So 2g cos theta m, and here another mg cos theta. So on simplification you are getting 3mg, and if you add, it is coming 3mg cos theta. So you can take 3mg common, it will be 1 plus cos theta. So this is the expression for tension. This is the expression for tension in the string at any point. Alright. So these are the two important relations you have to remember, that v at any point is given by under root gl 3 plus 2 cos theta, and t is equal to 3mg into 1 plus cos theta. Alright. So already we have got at the highest point A. At the highest point, what is the tension? 0. And what is the velocity? Under root gl. Already we have got. I hope you can remember it. Just now we have done. At the point A, we have got tension 0. And what is the velocity? Minimum velocity, which we called as critical velocity. And we wrote Vc also under root gl. Okay. Now come to the point B. Means at the lowest point of the vertical motion. If you consider the tension, then you see at the lowest point, if you take the point P to the point B, then what will be theta? Theta will become 0. So in place of this relation, you just make theta 0. So what you are getting? 3mg into 1 plus cos 0 degree. Now what is the value of cos 0 degree. Value of cos 0 degree is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2 into 3. So you are getting 6 mg. So what should be the tension in the string at the lowest point of motion? 6 mg. And then this is the most important one, velocity. What will be the velocity at the point B? Then in this relation you will put theta equal to 0 degree. Now cos 0 degree 1. So it will become 3 plus 2 5. So what is the velocity at the lowest point? Under root 5 GL. Mostly the question come on the velocity. What should be the minimum velocity at the highest point of motion in vertical circle? Under root GL. And what should be the velocity at the lowest point? It should be under root 5 GL. And you have, so this is these are all the points you are supposed to remember for the motion on a vertical circle. And this is a very important topic from this chapter. Frequently question comes on this topic, so kindly learn. You may not learn the derivation, but please learn the formulae that I wrote within the rectangle and I said important. And remember also what are the velocities and tension at the highest and lowest point. Now before discussing the practical application of motion in a vertical circle, I would like to discuss one topic that I forgot. I skipped that one. That is by mistake. That is the concept of the centrifugal force. Although my children, I hope you know the details of the centrifugal force, because in 10th standard, I only taught you about the centrifugal force. So what is centrifugal force? You know, the force that is experienced by any person, any body in an accelerated reference frame. If a body is an accelerated reference frame, then the body experiences one force that is known as the centrifugal force. But the person or the body who is not a part of the accelerated reference frame never experienced this force. And I hope you can remember the common example generally year after year I give generally, that is the merry-go-round. You know that whenever you are in a merry-go-round and the moving merry-go-round, then you will feel that as if somebody is pressing you against the seat, isn't it? But that force means a force is acting on you in the radially outward direction as you are in the moving merry-go-round. Moving merry-go-round, it is executing a circular motion, so it needs a centripetal moving on a circular motion, and you know circular motion is an accelerated motion. So when you are in a rotating merry-go-round, then you are within a accelerated reference frame, so you experience the centrifugal force which acts radially outward direction. But your parents or your friend, whoever standing on the ground, they do not experience the force, isn't it? And we also dealt with the two example. I hope you can remember that you are on a rotating table and then a person is at the center of the table, another person is at one edge of the table. Then what kind of motion a person will observe standing on the table and standing on the ground? I hope you can remember. So here, what is centrifugal force? Centrifugal force is the force experienced by a body within an accelerated reference frame. What is the magnitude of the centrifugal force? Exactly equal to centripetal force, mv square by r. Okay, r is the radius of the circle, v is the velocity. And then what is the direction of the centrifugal force? Direction of the centrifugal force is radially outward direction. I hope you can remember. And this concept also I gave to you, that centrifugal force is also known as the pseudo force. It is not a real force. Why it is not a real force? Because this force is experienced by only the person who is a part of the accelerated reference frame. The person who is not a part of the reference frame do not experience this force. So centrifugal force is considered as a pseudo force. Another point I discussed, I hope you can remember, that centripetal force and centrifugal force, they are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, but they can never be considered as action and reaction force. Centrifugal force is not reaction of centripetal force. Why? Because centripetal and centrifugal force, both of them act on the same body, but we know that action and reaction always act on different bodies. They cannot act on the same body. So from that concept we can say that centrifugal force is not a reaction of the centripetal force. Purposely I have not written any point on the board because all these points you wrote it already in your 10th standard notebook. I have not written, but I have just discussed every point related with the centrifugal force. Now come to this example, motion in a vertical circle. Sometimes you will see magicians, they just do this magic. They will take a bucket full of water and they rotate in the vertical circle, and then you will see when the bucket just totally turned and it has reached the topmost point, then what you see, nothing is there, it is not covered, water is there, then water will not fall down. How it is happening? It's not a magic, it is physics. So understand it. If you can maintain the velocity of the bucket filled up with water in such a manner that velocity at the topmost point, it is such that the centrifugal force and the weight, just look at the diagram. At the point A, what are the forces acting on it? mg is acting in the downward direction. Centrifugal force mv square by L, it is acting radially outward direction. Now, these two forces are opposite in direction. So, if you can maintain the velocity in this way that the magnitude of the centrifugal force becomes equal to the weight, then what will happen? These two forces, they will cancel each other. So what will happen to the water? Means on the water no force is acting. So what will happen? Water will be stagnant at this position. Means water will not fall down from the bucket. Okay. So you see here, if you consider mv square by L equal to mg, then L is the radius of the circle. What is L here? Radius of the circle. So you see what you are getting, mm cancel, v square is gl, so v is under root gl. So if you can rotate the bucket with this velocity v equal to under root gl, then what will happen? That at the topmost point, although the bucket with water totally inverted, but water will not come out from the bucket, water will not fall down. So these are all the important points and everything about the uniform circular motion. Now it's a very small chapter, easy chapter. So please you learn it properly, and especially the formulae I said. Thank you girls. That's all for today.